Hello out there, all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear listening into another Gamer's Thoughts discussion. And this I'm going to be talking about Nintendo Switch Home, or making a compelling argument, or somewhat compelling argument, about why this concept would work. Oddly enough, I post a video on TikTok, it gets views and likes. Nobody's made any comment, but I assume from the fact that it has enough likes, people find this idea attractive. Post a video on YouTube, it gets a balance of reactions. And Twitter's the opposite. I didn't post a video, I just kind of tweeted about the idea. And Twitter was more like, no, this won't work. So I guess in the overall, people are kind of split from what I can see. And also it got some likes on Instagram because I reposted from TikTok to Instagram, and it seems that there are some people that like this idea, but on a whole, it seems like there's a split on this. And I think, one, the people that disagree with the notion automatically assume several things about how this would work, and not how I would expect for it to be set up, which would make it work. And then the people that agree may have actually just listened through to everything I had said. So, I'm going to try to articulate how this could work, where it gives something, but it gives something and makes the value decent enough for gamers to decide, hey, if I just want a home-only Switch, because I know I'm not going to play it in handheld mode, this works for that. Or, I mean, it's a possibility anyway. So, firstly, we're going to take a mold that is very similar to I don't know if you want to use a mold that is very similar to the older dock or the current dock, but you're using a Switch dock mold. And when I say older, I mean like the OG Switch or the OLED Switch. And I think the OLED dock is the one they're currently selling, because I don't think they sell the OG one anymore. And so if you find it, that will be a little difficult to find. That said, you're taking a Switch dock and you're putting the guts from the tablet inside that dock. That's the simple part of this concept. Now, they may have to make the dock make the mold of it a little bit longer, because I would want for them to have two sets of Joy-Con holders on it, so you could charge two sets of Joy-Cons. I think that makes the most sense to do, where it allows you to have, it gives you an opportunity to have up to 4 people playing locally using Joy-Cons automatically out the gate. And it's not like there aren't a ton of games that would allow for that possibility. Secondly, if we're going to go ahead and do this, internally it would have the same amount of storage as the Switch OLED, not the base Switch and not the Switch Lite. It would have 64 gigabytes in there to make it worth it for people to go ahead and get this over getting the baseline Switch that can do both, be played at home and on the go. Secondly, this version of the Switch, being a home version, also allows for you to use other forms of expandable memory. You'd still be able to use your micro SDs or micro SDXC cards to expand storage, but you'd also be able to use a hard drive. And I think it would also be a good idea to have some additional USB ports on this machine. Another thing, you don't have to, and people will probably not understand this, but Nintendo could boost the wattage for the home-only version of the Switch, because you don't have to worry about the tablet, which could actually take some of the performance issues out of some of the games, because having more wattage means it can process more and faster, because it has more wattage to do so. A lot of people don't understand that concept. That's quite novel to them. And if we are to believe the reported rumors that the Switch OLED model can play games in 4K, or is designed to be able to do so, which the board is almost exactly identical to that of the OG Switch, so that would mean that the OG model is able to do it too, and we're using that same board in the home only version of the Switch, then you should be able to boost its performance a little bit by upping the amount of wattage it uses. I'm not saying go well above what the Switch does when it's docked, but you can push it a little bit more because it's already going to be stationary anyway. And they could just put in a better fan to keep it cooler, rather than that little one that they have in the OG Switch, and the even smaller one that's in the OLED, and I think also in the Switch Lite. So you could put a slightly better fan in there that will exhaust that heat that comes from that higher wattage, thusly allowing for some better performance. I'm not going to say it's going to be a lot better, but it would still be better. So there would be less hiccups in some games like Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. Another thing, because this is home only, I would make the price $250, because you don't get to take it on the go, but you still get a better performance out of it than you do with the Switch Lite, or having a Switch portable. Having a Switch as portable where you carry it around with you. Both of those will get less performance than the home one, but the versatility of being able to take your Switch and plug it into a dock and then take it out on the go is something that you pay for with the OG Switch and the OLED. You don't get that with the Lite, which is why the Lite is straight up just $200, and it loses some features. Whereas with the home only version that I'm conceptualizing, you don't lose as much. Yeah, you certainly lose the portability of it and be able to take it on the go and play it, but you still have many of the other features the Switch comes with, and every controller still uses the haptic or HD rumble feedback. So, which is something that you completely lose with the Switch Lite. And I don't think any people actually thought about that when they came down to the pricing. You lose the motion control and you lose the HD rumble, or as well as losing the ability to plug it into a TV and play it on the television. You lose those features. I mean, I think that you can connect other controllers and Joy-Cons to it wirelessly like every other Switch, but you're still losing more from the Switch Lite than you would be a theoretical Switch Home model. Whereas the Switch Home model, you're just losing that additional screen to take it on the go with you. That's really it. Because all of the other system features are still there. All of the other controller features are still there because you're using controllers no matter what. So I think that makes the argument decent enough that you could say, oh, hold on, this makes sense to put this at $250, because you are losing that additional feature, but you do also get some bonuses for it, like slightly better storage, slightly better performance, and other storage options to be able to store your games on, because you're not picking your Switch up and taking it and moving it around. And you also lose the ability to have multiple docks to place your Switch in different places. But I mean, if you just get some additional cord setups and just have them waiting for it, you can practically do the same thing, and it's cheaper than getting multiple docks. So that's something to consider. And having more USB ports allows you to have far more storage and stuff connected to it. And basically everything that the Switch is doing when it connects to a TV and it uses any of the USB ports is running that through that USB-C type port that's on the Switch anyhow. And plus, this would be a boon for people who like to use wired controllers, who like all of the specially designed ones, especially the ones that PDP puts out. This gives you an opportunity to get a lot of those controllers and have them at the ready and play them. Like, and I have no issue with wired controllers. I just wish that all of the cords would be very long. Because I prefer, if I'm going to have a wired controller, the cord is going to be at least 10 feet. That would be the only gripe I would have. And you can still use your wireless controllers anyway and have a charging dock next to it, or even plugged into it, because I'm pretty sure that there were some models that there were some charging docks for like pro controllers that just plug into a wall and they use USB. Well, hey, plug it into the Switch home. That way you can keep everything together. And it looks a little neater and a little bit more concise. Now, if people can get behind that idea of a Switch home, then I think that we would have a decent machine that Nintendo can put out. And plus, having to be at that $250 price point puts it above the Lite, and multiple people can use it at the same time, whereas the Nintendo Switch Lite is solely designed to be used by one person at a time. And that additional 50 off from the OG Switch model could be used toward a game, could be used to another set of Joy-Cons or another controller. It can be used for something else to go along with that version of the Switch. Plus, if we can have a portable-only version of the Switch, why can't we have a home-only version of the Switch? That's another argument I don't get with people. Because when you put the Switch Lite out, that kind of defeated the purpose of it being a Switch. Whereas I liked my original idea where they just sold the Switch without the dock for that lower price point. But they went ahead and did a whole new model for that lower price point. But I think I've covered pretty much everything I can with it. Not a whole lot more to talk about, so people can give me their opinions. What do you think? Do you think that the way I explained it, that this version of a Switch would be a good investment for Nintendo to go ahead and proceed with? And if not, what other reasons can you come up with that it would not work? That's it. Thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games. Peace out, everybody.